It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene
Sounds holly jolly to me.
before it's over. Let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season is upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
Six to be exact. Selected and arranged for your Yuletide pleasure.
So, silver over those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman as we engage in some seasonal shenanigans.
And tonight, what are we unwrapping, Jacob?
Tonight, underneath the tree, we bring to you the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
It's just what I wanted.
Me too, Dragon, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're going to our thesis statement, this is pretty much exactly what I wanted from a Guardians holiday special.
Yeah.
It brought us basically everything the Guardians are known for, wrapped up in a neat little bow. So,
Yeah, so despite being an epilogue, I think this was certainly one of the highlights of Phase Four. Oddly enough, I think at the very least it's the best MCU. It's the best MCU related thing we got this year. I mean, specifically this year. Um, with this and Werewolf by Night, I think we're very much the specials were very much the standouts this year in the best of ways. This was very funny. It was very endearing. It was done in the James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy style we're all accustomed to, so it felt very on brand. And of course, bridging the gap for Volume Three, which very handily. After this came out, we got the Volume Three trailer, so it's very seamless.
yeah, seems like it was timed very well.
It puts you in the holiday spirit, and it has very memorable gags, very memorable bits, and all around, it's quite seasonal and festive.
Yeah, in the best way possible.
Oh
And
yes.
and it brings it seamlessly into the world of the Guardians, the most unlikely group.
Yeah. Let me walk you through like a Scotia background. Not a whole lot, because again, they haven't really put out like the whole the assembled short or like making a featurette yet, at least as far as I could find. So as far as we know, so James Gunn apparently he's been trying to get this made for a number of years. So since at the very least since Guardians Volume Two, ever since he knew he was coming back for the sequels, like let's have some fun with Guardians. It was originally planned as he kept pitching it to Feige like crazy. Like, come on, man, let me do the holiday special. Let me do it, man. Come on, you like Star Wars, I like Star Wars. Let's bridge the gap. Come on.
I would actually like to see James Gunn do a Star Wars movie.
I think we all would. I think we all like to see him do our taxes too while we're at it.
Well, no, that is true.
Yeah. Regardless, so initially this was planned for ABC before Disney Plus was real like a, kind of a widely known kind of thing that was on the table, and then of course I speculate this, mind you. I speculate this was Kevin Feige kind of making it up to James Gunn for the whole like temporary firing sort of thing. Like, you know what, James, we're gonna give you that holiday special.
And the
We're gonna
thing
do
is,
it.
and the thing is, basically filmed basically at the same time as Guardians 3.
Exactly. So yeah. And again,
Really,
as I said, this is kind of the epilogue for Phase Four. Ultimately, the way things timed out, and also this the first introduction of our new composer. We've officially given the Guardians a new composer that will be doing the third film.
and John Murphy,
Yeah, John Murphy instead of
Tyler
Brian.
Bates.
Yeah, Tyler Bates. Yes.
You were about to say Brian Tyler, weren't you?
Yeah, I know. For a moment, I was, and then I realized, no, wait, no, I meant the other Tyler.
Oh yeah, his Tyler's the first name. The obviously Brian is his last name.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like, and based on what I've seen so far, like it is kind of we don't really know why Tyler Bates. I think Tyler Bates was replaced by John Murphy. The same thing happened on Suicide Squad, but
Well, he's probably busy. Be my guess. With what? I have no idea.
like, and well, we can only speculate. We can only ever speculate, and we don't want to carry on too long about that. But
Yeah.
like, I will have to say though, he definitely did a good job stepping into the world of the Guardians.
That he did.
It's like, especially like this is kind of jumping ahead a bit, but like especially the scene where Mantis and Drax are jumping after Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, they're bringing home the bacon. That's the best way to summarize this holiday special. The Guardians are bringing home the bacon for Christmas.
The Kevin Bacon.
The Kevin Bacon.
But yeah, like specifically that music, like channeling the Danny Elfman "Nightmare Before Christmas" was like oh my god, that is hilarious.
There's definitely some Elfman Christmas charm. Like you think Edward Scissorhands during the Christmas section of that film. A lot of that here.
Like, and obviously, I was more thinking of "Nightmare Before Christmas." But
Oh sure.
well, still Elfman music has the Burton connection. Burton directed, Edward Scissorhands produced "Nightmare Before Christmas," that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
And yes, the guys, I do know that Tim Burton did not direct "Nightmare Before Christmas."
Yes. Yes.
That was it. That was the wonderful Henry Selick.
Yes, it was. Good old Henry.
It's like I know where to give the credit where it's due.
Yes. Yes.
But we're not here for that. We're here to give credit to James Gunn and the cast and crew of Guardians.
Let's not jump to James Gunn. Let's dive right into it. So
that dragon jumping people is illegal.
well, yeah, but then again, jumping through their lawns apparently.
Well, probably still illegal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, at least in that case, frowned upon.
At least it's fun though.
It is fun.
Okay.
Especially if you're drunk.
Sure. All right, so let's so folks, we're gonna do a little we're gonna do kind of a recap of kind of the highlights, if you will. So let's break it all down. So we open on a flashback on basically this flashback story that Kraglin is telling. Yeah.
And a rotoscoped animation.
Yeah, so this James Gunn, of course, coming from the School of Trauma, he very has an appreciation for all things, but especially he has a great fondness for Ralph Bakshi. Like James Gunn goes deep with things, so it's like we're doing an homage to the rotoscoping of Ralph Bakshi.
It's like again, even probably intentionally doing it cheaply, somewhat cheaply looking too.
Yeah. I mean, James Gunn has incorporated animation to openings before, so I mean, like if you look at the opening of Super, so it's probably maybe taken a kind of akin to that, only far more rotoscoped. But yeah, like Michael Rooker was on set for this and everything, so they literally just they shot and then they kind of this was a deliberate choice. This wasn't like a thing of like initially I thought was Rooker like unavailable to like shoot it? Was it just like it was like a direct choice? Like he's there, they're shooting, and they decided to go animated to capture some of that Rudolph magic, if you will.
I mean, that's literally how rotoscoping is done. Like,
well, yeah,
they film the live action sequences and then they trace over it.
Yeah, like so I watched for the first time. I didn't really pick on the rotoscoping of it all. I was thinking like, oh, James Gunn's kind of doing that animated opening thing he did from Super, which is anyway. But yeah, no, the rotoscope made it go the extra mile. Look, once you finally
Yeah, but Ralph Bakshi, I don't know if it's Bakshi or Bakshi. I always pronounce it as Bakshi.
Yeah.
Either way, we know who we're talking about either way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't really make the connection, especially considering I don't think Ralph Bakshi did a lot of Christmas stuff, but it does kind of evoke his style.
It does. So essentially what happens in our story here is Peter Quill. He's this is when he's abducted by the Ravagers, and he's kind of settling in, and he's trying to teach Kraglin about Christmas and bring Christmas to the Ravager ship. And Yondu's saying, "What's going on here?" And basically he says, "Oh well, Peter is teaching me about Christmas. We have like little Christmas tree, and they have like I love like the makeshift Christmas tree, like metal parts in it and everything, and the like little kind of makeshift gifts that are kind of wrapped under the tree and everything." And Yondu, go on.
And of course, Yondu's not having it. They're like, you need to earn your share.
Yeah.
Even though there are a bunch of people that steal from other people.
Exactly, the Rav is very low because some irony with the Ravagers here is the fact of like get
we don't. That sounds like a handout.
Yeah. So that's the thing, that Ravagers don't take handouts. It's very much you get what you work for, which of course is stealing. So kind of ironic. And then of course this is a callback to when we introduced the Yondu, and well, at least the big thing with Yondu in the first Guardians movie, the whole that sounds a lot like sentiment, boy.
Oh god!
It destroys the little Christmas tree. He's like, I hate Christmas.
I wonder if he even knew what Christmas was before.
No, I had no idea what it was.
Or maybe he just heard the word and just hated the concept.
Exactly, hated the concept. Now, it's interesting though because with Yondu, what we know about him with the Sentiment Runner, that was very much the beginning of Guardians. It's interesting that him saying "Sentiment will get you killed, boy," and now the pathos-filled foreshadow that we have associated with this, where Yondu showing Sentiment is what got him killed in Guardians Volume 2 to save Pete.
It's like, well, what also got him killed was him begging James Gunn to come back for the movie.
Yeah.
Like he likes to. Well, Michael Rooker likes to, or even like jokes that the reason he was killed was because he kept begging James Gunn to bring him back.
Yeah, James Gunn does often kill Michael Rooker too in movies, so there's that too.
Yep. So it's like, well, Michael, you're about to die again. Yep. I saw that one coming.
All right. So let's see. So he's chewing them out. I hate Christmas, and then we we cut the Kraglins in. That's how Yondu ruined Christmas forever.
And then he's telling the story to the remaining guard, to Drax, Mantis, and Nebula.
I don't know if you've seen this, Jacob. They put out a little bit of merch. Not as much merch as I'd like to see. They put out some merch for Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and a lot of shirts say, "That's how Yondu ruined Christmas forever."
I need that shirt.
Yeah, they have it. It's like you see Yondu's face and the arrow flying around, destroying Christmas presents. It's a whole.
Is it an official like Marvel license?
Yeah, like on Hot Topic. Yeah.
Oh, nice! I need to get that shirt.
Yeah. They have like Yondu hates Christmas or Yondu. I think specifically it's like how Yondu ruined Christmas or Yondu something. Like, basically, Yondu's very present on the shirt with the whole hates Christmas thing.
Like I need that shirt now.
Yeah. Okay. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a big, and this is James Gunn very cheekily like, okay, here's where we're gonna work in some Volume 3 stuff kind of here. Which again, for me, Tegan and I in the past we've done many pitches for Christmas specials, and I like to work. This is the kind of stuff I love to do in a officially sanctioned kind of like special for something. I love kind of working in the cuts in between the material. I love like kind of bridging the gaps and stuff like this. Like, okay, so we're putting things forward that are going to not necessarily, you don't necessarily need it when you go to the next thing, but it kind of like kind of gets you ready for it.
It basically kind of cuts down the exposition needed for Volume 3.
Exactly. So the Guardians kind of exposit here. They've bought Nowhere from the Collector, who, by the way, establishes the Collector did not die at the hands of Thanos. So yay,
which is nice.
Yeah. And Drax has a new look. He's wearing shirts now. I mean, it's kind of twofold.
With sleeves.
Well, no, not with. It didn't have sleeves, Jacob.
Well, he actually did. Well, I mean, look at it. He's wearing sleeves, and actually, he is.
Well, no, you're right. That's later. I'm saying he's wearing a sweater. He's wearing sleeves, but I'm saying his new outfit, like when he's just out doing Guardian stuff.
I could have sworn he was wearing sleeves in that.
No, here's the thing, Jacob. I'm with you. It looks like sleeves, but no, it's just the tattoo pattern on his on his arms.
You may be right,
but it looks like, for a moment, it looks like, oh man, Drax is wearing shirts now. Well, he's wearing the vest because Dave Bautista wants to wear more shirts now as Drax, which is why he's going to be wearing. It's why we're getting more clothing.
And Drax found the story hilarious, and even Nebula just shakes her head.
I love the part when he destroyed the tree.
And even Nebula's just like, even she shakes her head.
Okay, point being, Nowhere, they're trying to go. The Guardians are seemingly, for Volume 3, they're trying to go legit, and especially now that the Nova Corps has been essentially wiped out on Xandar and everything. So very much the Guardians are kind of trying to step up and fill the void and such.
Basically live up to their name.
Exactly. So in doing so, they're trying to kind of fix up Nowhere, make it kind of a more credible place instead of like a hive of scum and villainy, kind of Star Wars akin. Anyways. Yeah, so we have we have a new character. Well, not a new character, but kind of a more established character. We have Rocket with Cosmo.
Who's we've actually seen Cosmo before, like in the background of the Collector's collection.
Yeah, Cosmo got the post-credit scene too. Cosmo's licking the Collector's face. So Cosmo's always around Nowhere and very much knows how to operate Nowhere. I believe it's from the comics where Cosmo eventually operates Nowhere and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they use that in the recent video game too.
Yeah, exactly. So this is really cool. So we have is it Mary Bakalova or Maria Bakalova? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think it's Maria Bakalova. Or
yeah,
don't ask me how to pronounce her name.
Well, I know the latter. Probably just forget what her first name is, but
well, I can just Google it real quick.
Anyway, So, point we have Rocket and Cosmo here. Cosmo, a telekinetic a space dog, essentially, like almost like a dog sent into space that has a little collar. It kind of works like up, with dog, where the collar kind of communicates the thoughts as well as the dog being able to have telekinesis too. It's kind of an interesting medium there, where I think in the
Yeah, it's Maria Bakalova.
okay, that's cool.
And the
So
thing is, to establish, Cosmo is actually female in this version instead
yeah,
of
in this version, yeah,
in the usual comics, she's actually portrayed as being male.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's the thing. So
Coxie's here. World by Night is better, but definitely more proof that they have something with these special presentations.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd say this is. I don't know if I'd say Werewolf by Night is better. I think they're both really good. I think Guardians may have just a slight advantage, but that's also because everyone loves the Guardian. That's the main reason why. But
Like,
otherwise, yeah.
if you guys haven't listened to me on this before, I might have a bias towards the Guardians.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I would have to say that I've definitely enjoyed this one a lot more than Werewolf by Night. But I do have to agree, these two holiday specials technically being the standouts of the year. Which basically shows that Marvel needs to do more of these special presentations.
Now, what we got to do is give all the Marvel, we got to do more holiday specials, but other holiday specials in the MCU. We got to do Thanksgiving. We got to do Easter. We got to
St. Patrick's Day,
St. Patrick's Day with She-Hulk.
the Chinese New Year,
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. With Shang-Chi. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
4th of July.
Yeah. Let's Sam. Let's do a little Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Let's see what other holidays are there.
Oh. Well, Veterans Day.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that'd be another one for Captain America.
Valentine's Day.
That could be another one for She-Hulk.
Yeah, a little She-Hulk Daredevil Valentine's Day. I love it.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. So, let's see. So my point is, in the comics, I believe Cosmo was purely telekinesis, and that's how everyone could hear the dog. But they kind of did a blend here, gave her kind of like an up collar, kind of like a Doug collar, where she can communicate as well as having telekinesis to like help fix things up in nowhere. She's a little banter with Rocket, where Rocket's like, come on, you stupid, get everything right. And
I will not stand by while you demean me.
says, all right, already. I'm sorry, and I also want delicious treat from the pouch. He tosses like a little doggy.
Rocket seems to at least somewhat get along with Cosmo.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the whole animal experimentation thing.
So we have some musicians in Nowhere, some alien musicians who I believe are like the actual group, the musical group that do the song. They basically just
Yeah, the old 97s.
Yeah, the old 97s. We have Biza McTakalak. Biza McTakalak here.
Biza McTakalak.
Yeah.
Don't ask us to keep saying his name because we have no idea if we're getting it right or not.
Point being, well, I know I don't get the rest of it right. If it's Beezer, it's Beezer or Beezer. I think it's Beezer McTakalak.
Yeah, Beezer McTakalak.
Point being, Beezer here.
Yeah, the other names are listed in the credits.
Sure. Anyway, so the point, we have some musicians here, and they want to share. They want to show Star Lord this Christmas song that they put together based on because Peter told Kraglin, who then told Cosmo, and Cosmo then told Rocket. So
it's basically like through a game of telephone.
Exactly. So this leads to kind of the telephoned interpretation of what Christmas is. We're having, of course, someone actually knows what Christmas is reacting to it. So Chris Pratt's reactionary skills in this are quite fantastic.
That's not on the lore at all.
Yep. So basically, we have this great song here. I think it's an original song. You ever hear this thing before?
I have no idea.
The whole we don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here.
Cox, yes, is Cosmo just a guardian or just a helper for Nowhere?
Well, that's the thing. I think in the comics, Guardian. I think here right now, just kind of a reserve member of the team, mainly kind of working on being on Nowhere.
And I think, and considering she's in for 3, she might be a bigger member. For all we know,
so that's the thing. Probably kind of like she's there, but probably mainly based on Nowhere. Because I don't know how much we can put the dog in the action sequence. Then against a James Gunn product, which had an eagle. So in action sequences, so I won't doubt anything there.
Fair enough.
Okay, point we have, I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here, in which we have a lot of just kind of near misses. Initially, it sounds like, okay, this is Santa Claus, an interpretation of, but then he puts dung in your socks.
Like, no.
He's a burglar who will shoot missiles at your toes. We mentioned Hermie the dentist who's sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, Herbie didn't actually die though.
No, I think some of us want him to, but no, he didn't. No, he didn't die.
Uh,
Let's see. Then we have Mrs. Claus who rides the pole, who's planning his demise.
oh God.
The elves are going to stab out Santa's eyes.
Oh God.
And of course, we have the turtle dove one's hilarious because Sword's like actually going like, well, I don't know what turtle dove is either, honestly.
A turtle dove's a bird.
Well, yeah. No, I'm saying he doesn't know. He's thinking like I don't know what the.
I mean, you should figure out just by the fact that's called a dove, I guess.
Exactly. See him kind of figuring out like, well, I guess that's So again,
Humans are weird.
Yeah.
Don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here.
This is like a really good feel-good way to kind of start things off, very irreverent, very funny, but also it's really great. Just James and Granite here with the fact everyone kind of the group aren't like Groot's the one who's getting into this most, like I am Groot in the background, which by the way is our introduction to a few years have gone by here, and Groot is now not teen Groot, but he's like, let's just call him college Groot. He's kind of like he's the young adult Groot. He's Groot. He's a young man in his 20s.
He's buff Groot.
Yeah, he's buff Groot, college Groot, whatever you want to call him.
Well, until we have an official name, I'm calling him Buff Groot.
Okay.
You can call him College Groot. I'll just call him Buff Groot. Let's just call him Groot. He's no longer Baby Groot or Teen Groot.
Well, considering this is probably the last time we're going to see Groot in this next movie, it's probably just going to be Groot.
Yeah, let's just call him Groot.
Okay, anyway, so point being, Groot's getting into this most, where everyone else is kind of shrugging off, like, okay, that was kind of weird. Like,
yeah, I mean, I wonder if they would have found the actual thing any more sensical.
No idea.
Like, because I guess explaining what Christmas is like to any of these other beings would make any more sense.
Little shades of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
The whole like Jack's trying to tell them what Christmas is actually, and they're trying to well, what's in this box? Is it a pox? Like all this, the whole has to sell them on Sandy Claus. Oh. Exactly. So Peter, I love Peter here, where he's kind of questioning, like, "What? You all just learned this song? Like, you just found these instruments? You were just able to play this jaunty musical number?"
and it's never pressed again.
Yep. All right. So, man. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
And of course, Drax is like upset with the story because everybody lives. I hate stories where everybody lives.
All right, so Mantis and Drax get a talking. Of course, a very popular pairing from Guardians Volume 2, putting these two together.
They're comedy gold.
Exactly. James Gunn kind of viewing him as his Abbott and Costello pairing for the Guardians films.
Yeah, I can see it. But they're Abbott Costello, Laurel and Hardy, make what you will.
As I'm saying, it's more like, just in general a comedy duo, not specifically Abbott and Costello. Then that's because they're both kind of more comedians than they both are straight men.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we learn.
It's like Laurel and Costello.
Sure.
Sorry.
So, Mantis has a secret, and it's not that she ate all the Zag nuts.
Zarg nuts.
Sorry. Oh, she's not that she ate all the Zarg nuts. It's that Peter is her brother. It's the fact that she basically is determined that Ego. So this made a lot of sense. I really like this, by the way. The idea that Ego, we established, had gone around looking for a celestial child to basically use as a battery, and presumably he's used them up till they died with the mounds and mounds of bones that were in the recesses of the Ego planet.
Which is still disturbing.
Very disturbing. So the idea that Mantis has a kind of a cool tragic layer to it, where Mantis served a practical purpose that she would help him sleep and manage the psychokinetic energy that he expenditures as a living planet and everything. So point being, she had a purpose that would require her not to be used as a battery.
And her empathic abilities.
Exactly. So based on that, it's a really cool idea that makes a lot of sense. That's why she's around. That's why she was used by Ego, much like Ego used all of his other children. So this is a good call, and also a little akin to Revenge of the Jedi, the Return of the Jedi.
But plus it doesn't. Plus it's not really. I mean, plus it doesn't really work as a retcon either. I mean, it's not
No,
exactly a
no, it's not a
retcon.
retcon. It's just we never talk about it.
I mean, some people might consider it one, but it's like, no, there's nothing really to contradict it. Plus, it was planned for Volume 2 anyway, just never got around to the revelation.
There's only one retcon thing we'll talk about later, which I attest is not a retcon, but some people have dug their heels and say, no, it's totally a retcon. I'm going to fight them on that later.
All right, now, might stand with you on that, depending on what it is.
All right. So, okay, anyway, so the point being, so the theme of our whole special here is that Mantis doesn't want to...
She doesn't want to explicitly reveal to Quill that she's his sister because of like the potential trauma of bringing ego up.
Yeah, the guy who killed her, the guy who killed his mother and did a whole bunch of terrible stuff and everything, and he had to blow up. So it's not exactly a happy memory, and basically doesn't want this revelation overshadowed by the painful reminders there, and wants to basically instead go for a redemptive Christmas. She wants to redeem the Christmas that Yondu ruined.
And of course, she wants to do that. Especially since he's missing Gamora, still missing Gamora.
Exactly. Gamora's still missing, and presumably Guardians 3 will have an element of search for Spock in which it's search for Gamora, who, so we've confirmed, indeed, did survive that snap. Thank goodness. Thank goodness Iron Man had in his little heart, a little mental note. Everyone, that was bad on Team Thanos.
Yes.
Yes.
And we need to get him. We could get him to Zargnuts if you didn't need all of them.
Get over the Zargnuts!
So a few times we actually see Mantis get legitimately angry.
Just hilarious. But
mainly because he just brought up the Zargnuts like 3 times. It's like, oh, I don't think anyone's mad about that except you.
Well, we know that Drax loves Zargnuts. That's why.
I mean, he's able to. If you notice, he's able to eat them while he's invisible.
Yeah. Very unsuccessfully, but yeah.
Well, it's like, well, he believes he's invisible anyway.
Until Mantis says, hello, Drax.
Damn it.
All right, so anyway, so Drax gets an idea as they're trying to figure out like what gift to give him to kind of help this go over well, and then Drax says, maybe not something, but someone. Someone special. There is one person that Quill has always regaled us with stories of. One man. And of course we cut to Kevin Bacon. Let's be honest, folks. The center of the universe is Kevin
Bacon. I mean, there's a reason there's something called 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yep, the world revolves around a hearty breakfast. And that breakfast is not complete without Kevin Bacon at the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, when you see him, he's talking to his wife.
Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah, Kira Sedgwick. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to see her, but we do hear her on the phone, and it actually is her.
Yeah, he's planning on a nice family Christmas. He's bought the gifts and bagged them and everything, and he's basically awaiting. It's like a quiet Christmas at home, most likely. So then, Drax and Mantis, they meanwhile are heading to Hollywood in the Bowie. A new ship, man. It looks cool. It's all big and it's stretched out.
Yeah, if you notice, like the Milano and then the Benatar looked kind of similar to each other.
Yeah, well, I mean, remind me, the Benatar, isn't the Benatar the ship that was at the end of Guardians 2 that they were saved in, which is, if I recall, is much bigger than the Milano?
Yes.
I'm misremembering that, because honestly, what I need to go back to Infinity War and see what the ship looked like, because that's the better look at the Benatar.
Because the Milano was destroyed.
Which bums me out, man, because I hate it when the Milano gets destroyed.
It's like the Razor Crisp being destroyed.
I know. It's like, oh man, I freaking love the Milano. I'm just seeing it like
the Milano was destroyed by the Sovereign in the beginning of Guardians 2.
It was, yes.
And then I believe that that was the ship. I think the Benatar was like the ship that where Yondu killed all the traitorous Ravager crew.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And the Guardians basically appropriated it and named it the Benatar.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I forget what happened to the Benatar in between.
Well, that's the thing. I'm unsure if the Benatar is the same ship that is in the top of Infinity War when they're. That's what I need to check. But yeah,
I think it is. I think that's technically is the Benatar. Yeah.
Okay.
I said I don't know what happened, and I don't know why they got Because I could have sworn they also had the Benatar in Thor: Love and Thunder too. So
Yeah, that's the thing too. So we'd probably. I think you're right. I think that probably is the Benatar.
so I don't know. So they might have just gotten a new, bigger ship for Volume 3 and named it the Bowie.
Okay. So we're in the Bowie. Drax and Manus are heading to Hollywood to abduct Kevin Bacon.
It's like, and of course, when they arrive, people see them. It's like, you did activate the cloaking device, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. I obviously see Flicker right now, right in front of me.
Of course,
What?
people are freaking out. Like, I love this is a James Gunn ad, and I love this where you have like one lady like reacting, "It's the end times, we're gonna die." It's like kind of crying at it.
That's like to quote a certain old man. Like, what, have you guys never seen a spaceship before?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what, have you guys never seen a spaceship before?
Yeah, Stanley would take that in stride, man. He'd be perfectly fine with that.
It's like, yeah, I mean, look at all the stuff he's seen.
It's a typical Tuesday, especially he's an informant for the Watchers, so he's seen everything.
It's like, this one time I was a FedEx delivery man.
Anyway, point being, we have this great gag where Manta's like, "I wish I brought Groot."
Groot probably would have been more help.
All right, so Jay, of course, we're in Hollywood. There's one hot spot you always got to visit when you're in Hollywood. You got to go to Grauman's Chinese.
And I just thought it was like so nice and heartwarming when she saw the Captain America crossplay. I was like, Steve!
I melted so much. I laughed so hard during that joke.
It's like she was just happy to see Captain America, even if it wasn't him.
I know we didn't spend a lot of time on this, but you know what? In Infinity War, I like the idea that the Guardians would get along with Captain America. Because like Groot, the whole I am Groot, I am Steve Rogers. It's I don't know, just kind of lends to the idea that we have Bucky getting along with Rocket. I don't know. I like that they're very team cap, those Guardians.
Yeah, I am
Anyway.
Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
Right. Very much kind of a Buzz Lightyear encounter with Chris Evans before the eventual Buzz Lightyear encounter with Chris Evans. It's nice.
Oh my god. Anyway, but anyways, like they do manage to get like quite a bit of money from the cosplays. And this GoBots are now officially canon in the MCU.
Yeah, and this is kind of a cross nexus here, where in the comics, Kree Sentinel robots killed Drax's cousin, so they kind of mentioned that the GoBots did it now.
It's like, yeah, and they're like, it's a funny thing, like it's I think they're like licensed from Hasbro or something to do a comic or something. It might not be Hasbro, but
yeah, and it's really funny too. It's like not just like no, Drax's cousin wasn't killed by something similar to GoBots. No, they were killed by legit GoBots. So James Gunn has canonized GoBots in the MCU.
Basically, they said they were like a toy line, and I think they were licensed by Marvel to do like a comic about them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be mistaken on that, but
I'm gonna say that's essentially what happened with Transformers. So the GoBots being an offshoot, I mean, it's possible.
It's like, so yeah, they basically canonized, as he said, they canonized the GoBots into the MCU by saying they killed. It's like, Drax, stop being a bigot.
Anyway, I admit though, I do love the idea. They think it's the real Cap when he runs away. Like, what's wrong? And just Drax like shrugging off. I don't know. He's just running away. I guess that's what Cap's doing right now.
Like, he doesn't even really look like Steve.
And of course, well, Drax thought Yondu looked exactly like Peter, though. So
he's blue.
He's blue.
Drax. We love you, Drax.
All right, so of course, like those the cosplayers at Grauman's, they accidentally luck into a whole bunch of money.
And one of them who even thinks that Drax is the God of War.
Yep. Yeah, from God of War.
Yeah, from the specifically thinks he's like cosplaying Kratos from God of War,
yep.
which is funny because Ragnarok just came out like a couple weeks ago,
and of course Thor Ragnarok being even funnier.
Yeah, I guess so.
I was saying but yes,
God of War. I'm specifically mentioning God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
but it is kind of funny though.
All right, so
they actually do make a crap ton of money. People think they're cosplaying, but they're the legitimate Avengers technically. So what do they do with their money? They get smashed.
Well, they look for Kevin Bacon in a bar, and they end up just
They get smashed.
Yeah, and of course they meet. I don't know if you recognize them, Jacob. Fula Borg.
I know he's a YouTuber, but he's all over the place.
Wait, is he a YouTuber? I had no idea about that.
I think so. I think he's like, or maybe at least an influencer. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's Well, whatever he is, I know he was Javelin in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's like I know, but he's done. I think he's done a lot of other stuff. I think he's like famous online and stuff like that.
But I know I saw he was an actor. I had no idea he did online. So, well, there you go. Point being, this guy he's a fun actor when
I
he
mean,
pops. I've seen him pop up in The Rookie, and now he's Javelin in the Suicide Squad. Anyway, so he's the
yeah, he's
bartender.
yeah, he's an internet personality.
Okay, well there you go.
But yeah,
So we
and I love when like Mantis drinks the. You can actually see fog coming out of her mouth.
yeah, like some next thing close to fire coming out of her mouth. It's just very. Jacob, we have some comments. Do you think is there anything on brand? Anything we should bring up?
All right, hold on. I guess then. Let's see. Also random. Imagine telling people 2014 after watching the first Guardians that one, there's gonna be a Guardian, and two, the Guardians are gonna have a Christmas special.
Yeah,
By the way, I like to imagine when Drax and Mantis' ship was seen on Earth, the people aren't even scared, just thinking, "Oh God damn it, not again!"
yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Gonna be like that giant donut in the sky, and then Thanos came down. We disappeared for 5 years. You do it all over again.
but Mantis thinks that Steve doesn't remember them. And this is not the first time they came to. This is the first time they came for Earth. This is the first time they came to Earth, not for a fight or a funeral.
Yeah, exactly. So Endgame, that's the only time we've seen the Guardians on Earth. Just basically during like the Endgame battle, and then Tony Stark's funeral.
Technically, they did see Rocket and Groot in the Battle of Wakanda. So,
Well, sorry, yeah, you're right. I'm like I guess I meant all of them, but yeah, you're right.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying if we're gonna split hairs.
Oh yeah, sure, you're right. That's the point. That's
I
the
mean, I mean, I
Infinity
mean,
Saga. Yeah.
you are correct. So,
All right. So
well,
the Infinity.
that's when all of the Guardians were on Earth.
Yeah.
But in other words, basically, Drax and Mantis get smashed or drunk, and they get along with all the patrons in the bar.
Yeah, like Drax is like, dancing's for people who are pathetic, and it's like, you want a drink? Yes, yes, the tequila shots, yeah, and then they're dancing to again. Also, let's talk about this though. Our seasonal James Gunn, if he can do anything in this world, it is pick the perfect songs for montages and sequences in film. Because my God, these Christmas, all these are Christmas song choices. I believe possibly all but one. I think all of them are. Like you have the Christmas rapping song going on here, which is fantastic. Merry Christmas, da, 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 that one.
Oh yeah,
For me, I always associate it's the Fred Claus Christmas song, but it's great.
he definitely knows some obscure ones,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and not just when, and as we'll talk about later. Not only when it comes to songs, but movies as well.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best Easter eggs in this thing.
But but yeah, so basically, after like a bit of them like dancing and even Mantis like twerking a bit,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, of course. Get ready for the letters, kids.
we cut to the basically we just smash cut to them outside, basically almost passed out on the passed out on the street.
Yeah, just thinking like, how are we going to find Kevin Bacon now?
It's like, you want to find Kevin Bacon?
And of course, this is a great idea, by the way. I was waiting for him to get to this, but at some point, I just love it. Came right when you were so distracted with all the fun you're having. It's like, oh yeah, that's how we find celebrities in Hollywood. Star maps, guys. It's like, oh, I can give you. I know where he lives. Here's a star map.
It's $40.
And this is great. There's the fact that we didn't just have the cash. It's the fact that they spent it all in the sequence we just saw. It's just like, but again, Mantis has the empathy, influencing powers of like, give it to me for free, and give me all your money.
Mantis.
Yep, but no, this is a fun little Easter egg too. We have a little star map, like a little graphic on the screen. We see John Cena, Margot Robbie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Queen Latifah, and some other person.
And some other person.
Yeah, I couldn't quite identify who the one was.
I didn't really recognize anybody, but it is kind of funny that John Cena was on there, considering the whole thing with Dave Bautista and all that.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
Like, I would actually love to see like they filmed a scene with John Cena, and like it's like and looks at Drax like, you remind me of someone.
It's funny. There is Dave Bautista has voiced that he really wants to play Bane, and James Gunn now is kind of he's kind of heading the charge at DC. So it is possible we could have, in theory, Peacemaker run across Bane.
That is entirely possible.
It is possible. We know James Gunn loves to put his buddies in things. Like, can you imagine this? Can you imagine James Gunn would finally be able to make it on screen, make it happen, he would be able to make Nathan Fillion the actual Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Can you imagine that?
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, so we end up at Kevin Bacon's house, and what is Kevin Bacon doing at this time, Jacob?
like, well, we actually can we talk about like what they do before they go to Kevin Bacon's house, or before they while they're in his basically his front? Yeah. Well, never mind. I'm kind of skipping ahead.
Yeah. So I'm saying, first we check in with what Kevin Bacon's doing.
Yeah, he's watching Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Which very ironic, and especially the scene that they are playing, the whole Santa Claus, you can never go back to the North Pole again. Essentially, something along
Like
those lines.
famously known as one of the worst movies ever made.
I gotta tell you though, man, seeing it out of context like this, they really dress it up to look kind of fun.
Yeah, they do. It's like you can tell he's like enjoying it's like a so bad it's good kind of thing.
Exactly. So then the doorbell cam, he has like little iPad things like the doorbell cam as Mantis is ringing the bell, and of course,
Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon.
them being drunk as skunks is not helping either.
It's like look at it, and then Drax kind of scares him a bit.
Well, honestly, I think it's more Mantis. He's probably got great ears.
It's like you're yelling. Probably has good ears. and then he just kind of like
Politely turns him away. Says, sorry guys, I can't. I'm thinking they're like solicitors or Jehovah's Witnesses or something.
yeah. And then like so they try and get then they try and do what anyone would do and try and get into his house.
Yeah, so Mantis gets
do what any reasonable person would do.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, he's not answering the doorbell. He's not, talking. He's not letting them get their foot in for the sales pitch. So they have to get to him. So Drax, do you think you could throw me over the gate?
And then it's like, why did you do that? It's like
I wasn't even finished talking.
Like don't throw you. Make up your mind.
I gotta admit, this kind of takes me back to 2014 with the Guardians. Man, I just love seeing Drax do like that awesome like jump where he can just jump over the gate with grace. I love it.
He probably could have just grabbed Mantis and jumped over.
That's a thing, possibly, yeah.
And he just sort of like, do you think you could throw me? And then it's like he didn't even think about it. He just grabbed her and threw her.
Yeah. Okay, so they're in Kevin Bacon's very decorative yard with a whole bunch of Christmas stuff and lights and everything. But Jacob, I want you to tell us what two big items are in the front yard that grab the interest of our duo here. What was Drax lose his mind over?
A little green man.
I want this funny man.
Yeah.
This little inflatable elf thing. I don't like the big inflatable. It's like a little inflatable elf that's in the yard.
And then like Mantis tries to, and Mantis like scolds him about it. But then she sees the candy cane. She's like, yeah, but that's what we're here for.
That's what they're here for. Yeah, I thought it was great. You ever notice that Drax has a hang up on little men in Guardians? Because think about it, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, you have like the 1-inch man. Like 1 inch, he's just far away, Drax. He's not 1 inch. He's not 1 inch tall. This is the whole thing. I want this funny man. He likes the idea of little men, it seems like.
I don't know if that's intentional, but that is funny.
Yeah, it's just a weird runner with him.
Oh my god!
All right, so they're knocking at the.
Drax's mind only makes sense to Drax.
Okay, so they're knocking at the door, and Kevin Bacon essentially is calling the police, saying, "Guys, this isn't cool. Put down my candy cane and my elf, and just So he's about to call the police, and then Drax.
It's like so like I said, Drax does what any reasonable person would do.
He knocks harder.
And by knocks harder, we mean breaks into the glass.
Crashes through the glass like a linebacker.
and he's completely happy about it too. Like, hi.
And he jovially tells Kevin Bacon what they're there for. It's like, we want to take you as a Christmas present. Kevin Bacon, like any of us, is a very reasonable response. Admittedly, could have been a little more. He's running for his life, but I don't think he needed to knock down his really cool looking tree. I don't think he needed to do that. But again, he's desperate. I guess he's like.
I mean, it's a reasonable response to somebody to this huge guy breaking into your house and saying like, "I'm going to take you as a Christmas present."
So yeah, I get why he's running. I'm just saying he's running. Did he have to knock? The tree is not going to save him at all. I don't know what he was thinking with knocking over the tree. Honestly.
Well, he's panicking.
Yeah, exactly. So Kevin Bacon, he's running, he's panicking, and so hypercharged. We have This is awesome, but here's the thing. They solved a major mantis, not a mate. They solved a mantis problem I've had in the Guardians films here, which is what the heck is Mantis going to do in a combat situation? As
Well,
Mantis
we
has a
well we do see she's quick and agile.
That's the thing, but this is the first time we've really shown that though, because I can't even remember what the heck she did in Endgame. She just did that walking shot. That's all I think I remember her doing in that.
Yeah, man, I don't really remember. I have to rewatch it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So here we actually get this special. We actually get to see her do a lot of really handy stuff. Like we see her do this awesome leap, this bug-like leap thing.
Well, living up to her name.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course later on when she's taking on the cops, she's rather agile.
It's like, yeah, like I said, she's like quickly jumping from pillar to pillar with and in Kevin Bacon's house chasing after him.
It's very terrifying the way she does it with the timing on that too. I love it.
Terrifying precision.
Yeah. All right. So then, anyway, so Kevin Bacon he jumps for his life off the balcony and like grabs on like trees and stuff, and he kind of slams down.
Like Coxie agrees with you. Agreed. I really like they finally gave Mantis an actual fighting style.
Yeah, Mantis can do stuff.
And he does have this question. It's jumping a bit ahead, but how do they get Bucky's arm to give to Rocket?
It's less how, it's more what's Bucky gonna do come the next Captain America movie? That's the real question I want to know. I think it's pretty straightforward how they got Bucky's arm.
Like, well, we'll get to that later.
You'll get to that later. Just file that away. Anyway,
but basically he as he said, he jumps down. Like I think he hits one of his trees or something like that.
Yeah, he grabs a tree on the way down. He miraculously survives. Thank goodness, because I'd hate something bad happening to Kevin Bacon. I think we all would. We hate ruined bacon.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't. It's a good thing he didn't die because how they would have to explain that to Peter. It's like, yeah, we killed Kevin Bacon.
There's only two ways to kill Kevin Bacon in this world, kids. It's telekinetically throwing a coin through the middle of his head and jabbing him with an arrow through the neck. Those are the only two ways you kill Kevin Bacon.
There's actually something that mentioned. We'll talk about that later when he talks about the stuff he's done. But
Yeah.
there is an issue with his story in that.
Yeah.
All right, but moving on, like he's running for his life, and the worst possible thing happens to Drax.
Yeah, so Drax, he stops like mid-chase. And story-wise, what we're doing here is we need to give Kevin Bacon a kind of a 5-minute head start of sorts. We're having this little conversation going on. Basically, Drax, he says, "Oh wait, I left my funny man inside the house. I gotta go back and get it."
and Mantis is like, "You can't do that. Like Kevin Bacon's gonna get away."
Basically, but you got to hold on to your thing. This is hysterical. This is what James Gunn does best here. He has like they're entertaining this ridiculous conversation, but she's trying to have like the moral high ground here. Like I was responsible and held on to it.
And she like calls him, "You hold on to your little man. This is not a man. What is it? I don't know. A shape."
I love that might be her best delivery in this whole special. It's the fact that he's like the swirly red and white curly man. How is this a man? What is it? I don't know. Shape?
I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't know what it is.
I got to admit, the more and more we talk about Mantis, the more I kind of realize Mantis is very in line with the Electra bit that Tiki and I do.
Oh God!
Just a less violent version of it. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to get that in there. Anyway.
All right, so it's like.
Jacob.
Huh?
We forgot to mention something. The "I Want an Alien for Christmas" song, which is perfectly chosen for that chase scene.
Oh yeah, you're right. I completely skipped over that.
Want an alien? It's a perfect song choice. That's very on brand.
Like one wonders how James Gunn finds all these songs.
I assume I forget if in real life he had a similar thing to Peter Quill, where he had like a musical thing with his parents or not. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but whatever it is, he definitely knows how to make a good song choice.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like, and of course, like you love Peter, right? And you want to do the right? You want to do? Would you rather? And you'd rather?
Do you want to love? Do you love Peter and want to save Christmas, or do you want a little funny man?
And then he just like weekend, he's like thinking about it.
Given the Guardians of the Galaxy had a Telltale game, this to me feels like a failed Telltale choice, and I love it.
He's like a little funny man.
No, he just no, and then they're doing they just goes along and then he's doing the yard hop.
And there actually is a Telltale Guardians game.
That's what I said. Yeah, there is a Telltale Guardians game.
No, sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah, I think I played that game, man.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so So
Anyway.
she says no, and they're doing like little yard hops, chasing Kevin Bacon.
It's like, yeah, that's like that's freaking hilarious. Like seeing them both do like technically, if Mantis could jump like that, she could have probably jumped over the gate too.
Exactly, exactly. I
Like,
think it's a. I don't think they're huge. They're as tall as the gate what they're jumping over though. So maybe that's I don't
well,
know.
that is fair, but it's like she could have at least hopped it and like I don't know. I'm thinking too much about this. Like
Yeah,
they're drunks.
that is
they're
true.
they're both basically drunk at this point. At that point, so they're not even really thinking clearly.
Literally, I think they are getting a little sober during the chases with the adrenaline that's pumping, but I don't know.
But yeah, it's like either way, they're jumping after Kevin Bacon
They're going the
and
full Mario.
to the behind like he's running on the street. They're behind the hedges and jumping over while this freaking insane Christmas orchestral music plays.
Yep. Then I would say they
Basically,
run to the cops, and then Kevin. I mean, I think these cops were a little trigger happy, if you ask me. But thank goodness Drax, our dear friend, is bulletproof. Bullets
I'm,
tickle.
I'm gonna pee my pants.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
So
I
then,
mean, I mean, well, I mean, to be fair, they are these two crazy people chasing after Kevin Bacon. So,
yes, but they are unarmed, though. I mean, aside from a candy cane.
well,
Yeah.
but but
Anyway,
man, but Mantis does show her skill in a fight by like maneuvering between the different police officers and putting them to sleep and all that. And of course, Drax just flips one of the cars over. It's like Drax, you can't do that. It's like, how do I know the rules if nobody tells me?
Drax, you can't just kill people. No one tells me these things.
It's like, how do I know the rules if nobody tells me?
So then Mantis tries to explain things rationally to the two terrified cops who are upside down in the car alive, and they're
And Coxie has this to say:
oh,
How
just
funny
all
would
about yeah, go on.
how funny would it be if Guardians 3 shows Drax still having funny man?
That would be great, honestly. That would be. I don't put that past James Gunn. I believe that would probably happen.
Hopefully, at least there's like a background Easter
That's
egg
what
or
I'm saying. As a
something.
background Easter egg, I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, but yeah, they just to basically flip the car. Like, you can't kill people, Drax. And okay, I think we did that already.
yes, we did. James. So Mantis is trying to explain things to the terrified cops upside down in the car, basically trying to. This is real. Here's James Gunn kind of poking fun at the holiday tropes here, where she's basically spelling out the holiday kind of sacrifice here of just like
We're
here
trying
it
to
basically gives them the candy cane as like a peace offering. So now we're even. This meant a great deal to me. So now we're even.
like we're taking Kevin Bacon, taking the hero Kevin Bacon.
To cheer up our friend.
Like here, take this. I really wanted it, but you could have it.
So we're
Even.
even, right?
Like yeah, we're even.
This doesn't look like a man, does it? A man? No, this is my friend being an idiot.
Oh my
All right, so they
god.
catch up with Kevin Bacon, and she uses her power on to make him compliant. And then, and now that Kevin Bacon's on Team Guardians, now they also steal a whole bunch
Well,
of Christmas paraphernalia.
well, considering Kevin's there, they probably could have paid for it legitimately.
That's a good. I mean, yeah, I guess. Plus, they did. Here's the thing, they had money. I don't think that fanny pack all the money, but it is Kevin Bacon, so probably, yeah.
I mean, it's probably funnier to imagine they stole it, but
I imagine they stole it personally, but that's a good point. They could have paid for it.
I mean, Kevin Bacon's like, well, considering it was Kevin Bacon's idea. I mean, that's just my thought. I mean, it's probably funnier if they did steal it, but I don't.
Well, no, it was Drax. It was Drax or Mantis who said that. I think Drax said over there. We got to stop there first.
I thought it was Kevin Bacon that said
No, I'm
that.
pretty sure it was Drax who said we got to stop there first.
All right, well, oh well, it doesn't really matter. They get a bunch of they pretty much deck out the Bowie and a bunch of Christmas supplies.
But I gotta be honest. This next part is kind of my favorite part in the entire special, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Is a really silly reason, but I get there's such a vibe I get that if this whole sequence of them in the Bowie decked out all the Christmas stuff and the way this scene is shot and played, it has such a theme park and kind of pre-show to a simulator ride almost. Like it's like a pre-show to a theme park ride where it just feels like it's the funny banter that goes on before the ride starts, in which it's like them having kind of the dramatic realization in a very silly context here. So they're chatting with Kevin Bacon, who looks all happy with them, and then they basically say, so do you know the Fonz? Oh yeah, Henry Winkler. He and I, yeah, we would you call having dinner together, a team up. No, not at all. No.
It's like, and then talking about how you stopped the killer Jason Voorhees, which is actually not true because Kevin Bacon was only in the first movie, and Mrs. Voorhees, his mom, was the killer in the first movie.
Exactly. Now, look, I don't want to split hairs on this, Jacob, but let's just say, yes, you're right, and the thought very much did occur to me, but they say you killed Jason, which obviously is very wrong, and then he says, "Oh no, I get killed with it. I didn't fight Jason. In fact, I get killed in there," which means he's not necessarily wrong. He didn't fight Jason at all. He can get into the nitty gritty that it wasn't Jason the mother, but
It's like, yeah, because I said technically the killer was not Jason in the first movie.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yes, I was saying either way. I think he's kind of covered either way, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but maybe we're just splitting hairs. But
yeah,
but
or kind of splitting Kevin Bacon with arrows. But yeah,
it's like, yep. But then they realized the horrifying truth.
There is kind of a missed opportunity given the arrow thing, I'm sorry, but the fact that he gets that Kevin Bacon got killed in Arrow in that movie, and then we have arrow talk later on with Kraglin.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So they make an utterly horrifying discovery about Kevin Bacon.
He's an actor.
But actors are repugnant.
If you notice my description, it says, "Ugh, actors."
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the funniest things in the whole special. The fact they learn that Kevin Bacon's an actor, and they think poor Peter Quill. He's been away from Earth for so long. He got confused, and he doesn't know. Obviously, he very much does know that he doesn't know that Kevin Bacon is an actor. We can't break his heart like this. We have to fix this.
This is the worst present ever.
This is just an insanely hysterical idea, and of course, like it's just the fact that Manta's like retching, like, oh god, he's an actor. It's disgusting.
They hate actors. It's like yep, but Peter's obviously well aware of the fact that Kevin Bacon's an actor.
Yeah, it's Kevin. That's the thing. Peter Quill's always kind of dressed up the Kevin Bacon factor. They're not mentioning the movies and the actors thing, but he's very clearly, he knows that we have the Infinity War. He mentions the whole, like, is Footloose still the greatest movie ever? He knows it's a movie. He knows Kevin Bacon's,
It never was.
Exactly.
It's like, is it still the greatest movie ever made? It never was. And he's like,
looking like, what?
Yeah.
And of course, the question being, is Peter Parker talking about the remake of Footloose or the original, or is he just like...
Oh, who knows? But either way.
Exactly.
Either way, Peter's right.
Yes. Well, the other Peter. But yeah.
Well, either way, Spider-Man is right.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on. I forgot that they're both named Peter for a moment.
I know. That's the funniest thing about that thing, whereas I was geeking out about, like, oh, God, we got the two Peters in the same scene together.
Someone should have done, like, Peter, yes. Wait.
Well, Toy Story 2 gag for the kids.
Yeah. Buzz, yes.
Anyway. So.
All right. Speaking of Captain America.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they both... It's funnier because when they did get this actor from... It's a random thing for them to have.
Yeah, it is. Now, this is kind of funny because Kevin Bacon, so he did not know that he was referenced in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And it was like a pleasant surprise. So James Gunn, like, essentially when he got the okay to do the holiday special, he basically wrote in the Kevin Bacon thing, which just made it even better.
Like, he actually was aware of him being mentioned in the first Guardians, like, a while ago, actually.
Well, no, I mean during the premiere, Jay. Like, he didn't know until the premiere. Like, he went to the premiere of Guardians.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said he wasn't aware of it until, like, recently.
No, he was very aware. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying back. That's why, plus he had done movies with James Gunn. So the point being, James Gunn had worked Kevin Bacon into the movie super, and that's how he had him on the brain. That's why he worked in a little Kevin Bacon joke in the Guardians. So that's how he got him in the special period.
We're just like Kevin Bacon.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, I don't think Kevin Bacon saved a planet full of people.
But he inspired it.
Yes, he did.
We'll get to that later. So
it's like, they decided to carry on with the plan, but have Kevin Bacon act like the hero Quill thinks, quote unquote, thinks he is.
After some trial and error, initially he's like a real hero. He's like a British a soldier, and then we kind of They said no, use your real voice, and then we have him essentially doing Keaton Batman, like Kevin Bacon, like kind of a Bacon Batman. That This is the second time we've referenced DC stuff so directly since Eternals, by the way.
I wonder if that's like another thing that because James Gunn's also at DC now.
I like to think that is the case. It might be purely coincidental, but who knows?
It's like either way, Kevin Feige allowed it.
Just having Drax say, "Who's Bruce Wayne?"
Oh God!
All right, so Kevin Bacon.
That would be even funnier if he does end up being in the DCEU.
God,
But it's like, no, be someone who doesn't suck.
just be Kevin Bacon if he didn't suck.
Yeah.
And of course, he's just saying, but like I don't know what it is, guys. That pissed me off, but I'm just feeling really have like this angelic kind of Kirk Cameron shot of him practically. And then you have this Drax going, "We hate you."
It's like they're the ones operating under false pretenses.
Exactly. So we have the big Christmas surprise at nowhere. It's been decorated.
Of course, we see Groot doing the classic leading Quill out into the area, which I mean, it's a pretty cool scene of like him like seeing nowhere all decked out in lights, Nebula turning on the snow.
Yeah, we have like a nice Christmas song playing, Christmas time. There's a lot of songs that have Christmas time in them, so it's a little hard to keep them straight or differentiate them. Christmas time is this one. Anyway, so we have like it's a real sweet gesture. We have, as you said, we have snow machines, we have lights, we have people wearing Christmas sweaters. By the way, Drax's Christmas sweater, a cat with shooting laser beams out of its eyes.
Yes. It is nice that it is nice that all the Guardians and all of Nowhere are pitching into this.
Yeah, so then we have probably my other favorite part of this whole thing, where we have
it's like he sees Groot wheel up the giant present. He's like, oh, you guys, and is like obviously happy about it until he starts to see it move.
So this is just utterly. This is my other favorite part of the whole thing. I love the staging here. I love it. It's like dead in the middle of it. There's like a spotlight on it, and it's been building. This is the joke we've been building to for the whole time, where all the Guardians think this is going to go over like the end of a Christmas story, but they got him the Red Rider BB gun. That's what they think this is going to be.
It's and it seems to be going that way until Peter sees the box move.
And then Chris Pratt just brings it on home with the horrified, priceless reaction.
It's like then he hears is there air holes in this?
As Kevin Bacon started, guys, I'm having trouble here. No air holes. And so he opens up and he just Kevin Bacon like arms spread going ta-da.
And then Peter's like he's not thrilled or happy. He's horrified.
He's horrified. He's in shock, and he's saying,
"He's like, what did you do? Like,
what did you do?
It's like we brought Kevin Bacon.
You brought me a human being as a Christmas present.
It's like, yes, we thought it'd be great, but that's not present. That's human trafficking."
Of course, I love Rocket trying to put like little kind of sweetness on it here. He says, "What do you get for the man who is everything but a human being?"
That's not a present. That's human trafficking.
Which probably the line of the special, for being frank. That probably is it. Put that on the poster.
Yeah, it's human trafficking.
And then of course, is guys, Pete, don't be too hard on these guys. I'm having a blast. I'm feeling real good. And then he turns to Mantis.
Did you put your trance on him? Didn't you?
Get Kevin Bacon out of the trance now.
It's I love how they this don't call him Kevin. They always refer to him as Kevin Bacon.
Because it feels too friendly if they call him Kevin. Also, it's kind of odd that we've had two very famous Kevins in two of these Marvel things already. We have Kevin Bacon. We have Kevin Feige as the Kevin bot.
Oh God.
Now we need Kevin Smith. That's what we need, the trifecta of Kevins.
Ah well, but
anyway.
But yeah, like Kevin Bacon. About to call him just Kevin, but Kevin Bacon. I mean, Mantis agrees to take Kevin Bacon out of his trance, and he's rightfully horrified as well.
Yep.
So to suddenly realize he's on a distant celestial plane, being surrounded by a bunch of weird aliens.
And the Rocket's trying to calm him down. Hey, listen, relax, man. We're not going to hurt you. And he says, "Is that a raccoon? I'll kill you."
It's like, well, so much for that, Rocket.
Okay, so then like Nebula's pointing a gun at him. So I love this, man, because Star-Lord is handling the situation like a champ. He's trying to calm him down. He's like, "Oh, sir, listen, we're going to get you on the Bowie, Kraglin, prep the Bowie so we can take Kevin Bacon home. I know your family's worried. Okay, everything's going to be fine, all right? So I'm going to let you go now. Don't run. Okay, you're not going to run, right?"
And then Kevin runs.
And then we have, I think Nebula's sounding, is Karen Gillan here. This is hilarious. This whole, this is bring Kevin Bacon back. You can't outrun me, Bacon.
Unfortunately, though, she does not kill Bacon.
Wait, what?
As unfortunately, though, she does not kill Bacon.
Exactly. Thank goodness.
It's like, but yeah, it's like, fortunately, though, things do get smoothed over when like they do manage to bring him back.
Yeah.
And
So things. Oh, you want to talk about the Mark Hamill thing?
sure.
Yes. So as things deflate and we kind of calm down a little bit here, we have a man, a drunkard, kind of taking a swig, and many people. This man does seem to be the doppelganger of Mark Hamill, and did it get you for a moment? Like, wait a minute, is that Mark Hamill?
I never really made the connection, to be honest.
Because after I saw him for a second, I thought, wait a minute, is that him? Then you look at him for a few seconds more, it's like, okay, no, it's not him. But a lot of people were on the internet were going crazy and saying, wait a minute, is Mark Hamill in this?
I kind of wish he was in the MCU, but
Yeah, well, maybe hopefully they're saving him for something better.
like, who knows?
Anyway,
but yeah, I definitely didn't think it was him.
all right, so we're on the Bowie. Craglin's telling Kevin Bacon basically why all
Like,
this
like
happened.
we didn't talk about like how like Peter's reaction to Groot.
Oh yes, Groot. So Groot is basically as he's calming down Kevin Bacon before he runs, like Groot's like shaking his head, like I am Groot. What do you mean you?
It's like I literally just saw you wheel him out.
I'm Groot.
it's like he's trying to play innocent, but then Peter's like, I saw you wheel him out, and then Groot just like awkwardly walks away.
Which is great.
Oh god. It's like this Groot. Well, I was about to say he's not as smart as the original Groot, but actually, I think about it, he's probably about as smart as the original Groot.
Possibly.
Definitely not as nice, but
yeah,
about as smart.
All right, so we're on the Bowie. Kraglin tells Kevin Bacon why this happened.
Like, he basically says Kraglin seems to realize basically immediately why the whole thing's an issue.
Yeah,
and explains to Kevin like how he inspired Peter.
Yeah, that you're Pete's hero, and you saved a whole town by dancing, and he saved the whole galaxy with dancing. Basically, you taught him how to be a hero, and he might be the greatest hero ever.
Which is kind of how Peter might be the greatest hero ever.
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of funny because like it took me a while to connect the fact that he watched Dirty Dancing to the fact that he basically defeated Ronan by dancing.
Yeah, I think you mean Footloose.
Yeah, Footloose.
Yeah.
It's like dance off, bro, me and you.
Yeah.
Like Coxie puts it, he's definitely snarkier than the original Groot.
Yep.
That he is.
As Pat Nozzle will say, he's a college puke.
Well, then again, like this Groot was actually raised by the Guardians, so that makes sense.
It tracks.
So Kraglin basically talks Kevin Bacon into like telling like they just wanted to demanding these dopes. It's kind of cute that he calls
Manting these dopes, calling it a little. That's a little throwback to the the old '50s B movie era, if you will. Mant.
Yeah, Manting these dopes. They just wanted to give him the Christmas spirit again.
Yeah. Essentially, they're hoping you bring the joy of Christmas back into his heart.
Mantis and Drax's heart. They were in the right place. They were just terribly misguided.
Yeah, so then a call comes in because reception's so good because they have satellite dishes on the ship that go about 400 million light years, I think.
Yep, and apparently without any lag either.
Yeah, so Kira Sedgwick calls, and she basically, Kevin Bacon is having heard this. He says, "Hi, do you mind if I'm a little late? I got some friends who need to learn a little about Christmas."
Then she's actually surprisingly fine with it.
Yeah, so we go full. I really love how we go full circle on this, and then the later animated bit here. We go full circle to the very beginning of things, where we had a song all about getting Christmas wrong, and now we have a song that's getting it all right. With "Here It Is, Christmas."
And Kevin Bacon's actually a singer in real life too.
Yeah, here it is, Christmas time.
Apparently he forms a band with his brother, like the Bacon Brothers.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if your last name is Bacon, you want to form a band. That's pretty much the only name you can go with.
2 sides of bacon.
Yep, 2 sides of bacon.
2 sides of bacon.
And then of course, we have like all of the Guardians receiving their gifts.
Yes, so let's go through them here. So we have Groot gets a Game Boy, which is delightful.
Which is fantastic. Like he's upgrading from like the little like LED, not LED, but like the Game and Watch S games or whatever, to basically getting a Game Boy, which is awesome. I remember I used to have one of those old fat Game Boys.
Yeah, I had I think I know I had the Game Boy Advance. I think I also had a Game Boy. I think.
Like I had the Game Boy, I had the thinner Game Boy, I had the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP,
Yeah.
the Nintendo DS, the Nintendo 3DS. I had basically a lot of Nintendo's handhelds.
Right.
And the Switch technically now counts as one too, so there's that.
All right. So
but,
then
but,
we
but
have a really
so,
eye-catching gift.
yes.
So so Rocket is presented with a gift from Nebula, which is Bucky's vibranium arm.
It's like Bucky's arm. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so this is hilarious for a variety of reasons. One, of course, the idea that I think it's a really sweet gesture on Nebula's part that she heard that he really wanted that arm and she went all the way to Earth to get it.
It's like, yep, people point out it makes sense that she of all people would be the one to give Rocket a gift because they're the ones that survived the 5 years where they're the only ones that survived the 5 years.
Yeah. So there's definitely a bond there, so that works tremendously. So so here's the thing: some people are doing a dust up about the whole. I think some James Gunn responds to some haters sometimes, or people like question like a lot of logic things. Where it's like, wait a minute, how the heck would Nebula last in a fight with the Winter Soldier? And I was like, well, I mean, she's just gonna take the arm. She's very fierce. I mean, she's Gamora's sister, daughter of Thanos. It's not so much that I don't buy that she'd be able to take the arm. Well, the bigger question though is, when we do Captain America 4, is Bucky gonna have a new arm? Do they bring it back? Like what happened? That's what I want to know.
I mean, that could be an explanation as to why his arm looks different.
That's a thing. I hope
and wait, is he going to be in Captain? Is going to be in New World Order?
Well, here's the thing: we know he's going to be in Thunderbolts, and I'm pretty sure they announced him for New World Order as well. But then you're right, Jacob. I mean, there's a chance that might not. We know is he's going to be in Thunderbolts.
I know Thunderbolts is a definite because he's like one of the leaders. But
all we know is they said Captain America and the Winter Soldier will return. So you have to imagine. But then again, them returning could be two different projects.
Yeah, like Captain America Sam Wilson for New World Order, and Bucky for Thunderbolts.
Yes. Regardless, we know he's coming back. I assume he's going to be in both. If I'm a betting man, I assume he's going to be in New World Order, which will then bridge into Thunderbolts. So he'll be we'll set up why he's going to be in Thunderbolts in New World Order. Regardless, in one of these things, he might have a new arm. So that's what I wanted. Like, did he get returned? Did he get a new arm? Like, we have to have a line addressing. I'd love them to have a line addressing. Oh yeah, it was stolen for a Christmas present.
Some crazy blue lady came to steal my arm.
Yeah. Imagine how that conversation goes, especially if he gets do you think he'd get another vibranium arm, or do you think no, Wakandans would not make him a new vibranium arm?
I sure hope they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he and the Wakandans are on better terms now.
Also, I mean, he and Shuri, they seem to have they might have a bond as well there. So I mean, I think Shuri being the new Black Panther, she might throw a little vibranium his way.
That's entirely possible. Because he definitely won't get it from Namor.
No. Nah. Anyway, so other gifts.
So he has Cosmo brings Kraglin a killed creature.
Like a dead space rat thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Groot hands out to the Guardians. Actually, before that, we see Mantis bring Drax a gift.
And what's in that gift?
The funny man.
The funny little man. He's giddy as a schoolgirl. All right, so then Groot has these gifts. I do question the logic of when he'd have the time to make this, because I assume that the easiest way is that Groot made these out of parts of himself that he grew and made into dioramas. I think that's the idea.
Maybe he's omniscient.
Well, it's not so much that. I mean, I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is I don't have a problem with the gifts. I always wonder if the gifts are made from him or if he sculpted these in advance, which obviously he have to work really fast given when he was told all this stuff.
I don't know.
Anyway, point being, I love these wooden dioramas though. They're fantastic, and they
Like,
will.
I love how Kraglin's is a Drost image.
Yeah, yeah, and of course I love that Kraglin. He now has like a little blue star on his head for as a Christmas party favor, and he has that in a little diorama as well. My favorite diorama is the ta-da moment with Kevin Bacon,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
which has them all there.
Like I just love how like Kraglin's is like him looking at the diorama. Like it's
Yeah,
basically a Drost image or Drost sculpture, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Like for those of you that don't know what a Drost image is, it's basically an image that contains itself for infinity.
yeah. It's the infinite kind of infinity image.
Like look at your like basically step in between two mirrors and see like your infinite reflection. That's what a Drost image is like.
Yeah,
All right, sorry, I just wanted to explain that for people who might not know what that is.
right. Right. So again, we see like the opening. We see them all like kind of talking. Basically, Kraglin telling them the Yondu story, them hopping the fences. We have a Drax flipping the cop car, and then of course the ta-da moment, and then Infinite Kraglin's.
And then Kraglin's diorama of him looking at the dioramas.
Yeah. All right. So of course, a wonderful time has had. Kevin Bacon has delighted us all with song, telling us how we all want to be swaddled and everything, and the kind of like Christmas babes.
Are we missing any of the other? Are we missing any other presents? Like
No. That's all the gifts.
all right.
All right.
Well, after of course, they say goodbye to Kevin Bacon, who's actually kind of warmed up to the Guardians. Like, and we should do this again on Easter.
See you at Easter.
Which Coxie says now they had to do a Guardian special with Easter special with Kevin Bacon.
I would like to see that. But yeah, I just love the whole bye Kevin Bacon. Like they're all saying bye, the full name, just bye Kevin Bacon.
And then Coxie has this like the aftermath of the arm thing will be like, Bucky, boy, I know you helped with Thanos and I was at Tony's funeral. I'm sorry, but my friend wants your arm and I just found a Christmas. What?
It's like the arms like suddenly removed. He's like shot with a weapon and the arms removed.
Or she just like yanks it off of him.
That's the thing. I meant she like tasers him and just takes the arm.
And he's like, damn it, not again.
Man, first Iron Man, now this. Come on.
He's like, why does this keep happening to me?
Then of course, then Falcon. Then Falcon Cap. If Sam Wilson comes over, he says, "Need a hand, buddy?"
On your left.
Ha ha.
All right, but and basically all saying goodbye to Kevin Bacon. Nebula's like, wow, I guess not all actors are pieces of shit.
Yep.
Like apparently actors like their sentiment towards actors is shared across the majority of the galaxy.
The Guardians may have had like a very unfortunate actor encounter, which makes me wonder who that actor was.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But technically, though, we're not done revealing gifts.
You're right. We aren't. So after we love you, Kevin Bacon, and of course he leaves.
And which Kraglin takes him back very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Peter, then Mantis reveals the reason. There's one of the reasons why. Because
not yet.
Like the whole thing with Yondu, like she did because of how Yondu ruined it. But Peter then fills her in on what actually happened.
Yes, so we go back to the rotoscope thing, in which we see the part of the story Kraglin did not hear, in which Yondu, he opened up one of the gifts and he found it was his first Dash toy that he keeps on little captain, his little kind of captain chair.
And of course he loves it.
And in return, he gave Peter his iconic blasters. So here's what I want to talk about. I mentioned earlier, Jacob.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, his blasters!"
So this is perfect. Now, a lot of people have made the very stupid nitpick on this scene. That really bugs me.
Well, what kind of stupid nitpick could be made with this?
A stupid nitpick is that you have like these stupid articles that pops up saying this undid this the big father. This is like a retcon or like undoes like the big Yondu sacrifice in Guardians Volume 2. Now their logic is that the logic they're throwing out, which doesn't really track it as far as I'm concerned, is that if Yondu was a cool guy in this flashback, how does it track with the Peter being afraid he was going to eat him all that time? I argue, they think very practically here. One, we already kind of knew this looking at one of my favorite parts of Guardians Volume 2 when Peter has those little quiet little flashes of him hanging out with the Guardians, and we see Yondu appropriately showing him how to shoot the blaster. One one or two positive moments does not like a father figure make. Sometimes you say plus is more of a friendly gesture than is like a fatherly gesture. Regardless, I get overall what I'm saying is I don't. This doesn't like say Yondu was cool the whole time and Peter would not know. You have intermittent bits where we saw that Yondu was fond of Peter. Like he calls him boy and everything, despite giving him tough love. So it's I think it's still it's
It's not exactly a retcon.
that's what I'm saying. People are making a mountain out of a molehill on that one, which I was like, no, you're out of your mind. You think this undoes all that? It's like it's intermittent bits of happiness. It's fine.
I mean, it's clear. I mean, even then, even with all that threat, he stuck with him all the entire time. So it's like it's entirely possible that Peter never really thought Yondu would follow through with it.
Yeah. And also, it's just the fact of like hey, look, it's more of a rite of passage thing. Again, it's still like it's kind of enough of like kind of a brotherhood kind of thing. Well, when I say brotherhood, I mean just kind of like the Ravager like kind of credo of like, okay, well, you need guns if you're going to be a Ravager. Here are your guns. It's like a rite of passage. It's kind of like it's not too lovey-dovey. It's not too sentimental. It's more just like we're it's kind of like a show of respect almost.
Yep, and I just remember going when I first saw it, I was like, oh, he gave Peter his blasters.
I was so freaking charmed by him opening that little dash toy. It's like, oh, that's worried that Peter gave him his first dash toy.
And it's like the dash toy, and then he gave him the blasters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh,
Yeah, it ties into him like teaching him how to fire those blasters in that live action bit that we saw in the Guardians. Yeah,
yep. And of course, then we get into like the big reveal. Well, the big Peter's big reveal.
yeah. Mantis reveals
It's
that
like
she.
it's like she the way she words it was like ego, like he's like worried that ego's like back or something.
Mhm.
And then she's like, that ego was my father.
Yep, and of course Peter's very touched because in a small sense he gets some family back here. Which is that mean you're my sister?
He's like, man, I mean, like let's just face it. We all basically knew this was probably gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean this show didn't earn it. It's like didn't earn this like huge heartwarming moment. It's like Mantis, that's the best thing I could have ever gotten.
The greatest Christmas gift ever, and it was, and then they're hugging, and it's like, oh man, James Gunn hitting us with the sentiment. How can it get even more? How can we get any more warm and fuzzy?
Like Peter's with Yondu from childhood to adulthood. A few happy moments doesn't mean Yondu's still doing say things that would make Peter scared angry.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Koski. Yes, tell that to those people throwing those clickbaity articles around. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like basically he's more receptive, very receptive to the idea, much more than Mantis thought he would be. It's like she's just like she was afraid that the trauma of having the connection to ego would, ruin things. But no, it's like he's ecstatic to basically have a sister.
Yeah, yeah. So then they're hugging and hugging to get more warm and fuzzy in this. We see a little moment between Yondu and Peter after the gifts were exchanged, where he's like tussling his hair, and he's getting he gets to sit next to the captain as they're blasting off, and then of course in the fireworks of the afterburns of the ship, it's just like Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all.
Yeah.
And
then we skip the credits.
Yep.
Well, technically, I watched the credits.
Well, handy little feature though. You can skip the credits now.
I watched the credits the first time, and mainly to hear the music and read the names. But the second time watching it immediately before we went live, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip the credits this time.
And what did we see?
We see Rocket and Cosmo dressing Groot like a Christmas tree.
Now this is fun. This feels like a mandated thing in all the best ways. Like you had to have, because they make all this merchandise around the holidays for Guardians of the Galaxy, in which it's very obviously dressed like a Christmas tree because you gotta. So it makes sense that, well, if we're gonna do a Guardians holiday special, the one thing you have to do, you have to dress him like a Christmas tree, and we did it. And then Groot just kind of drops his hand. Oh, they're all like the earlier scene. They're kind of like they're using Groot as the scapegoat here, like. Groot, you ruined Christmas again.
He's like, I think Rock's like, damn it, Groot. And then Cosmo's like, Groot ruined Christmas again. and then Rocket reveals he's aware that he's like, we're gonna need another special.
Now we're gonna need to do another special.
Bum, bum, bum. He knows.
He knows.
If you have a talking tree character and you're doing a Christmas thing, you can't not make that joke.
It's in the bylaws of creation, man.
It's like, and James, I mean, that's probably something Gunn wanted to do from the very beginning. Like, okay, we need to make a Christmas tree joke.
Yep.
I mean, he's a tree. How can you? That's like gonna be too easy to pass up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's too much. You can't pass that up, as Koksky said.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, basically all around hilarious and heartwarming special that we come to expect from the Guardians. Like I said, we knew what the ending was going to be. Like we knew that Quill would love to have Mantis as his sister. It's but like I said, it earned it, and it's still heartwarming nonetheless.
Indeed.
I guess it was just seeing them hug it out like Merry Christmas, Mantis. Merry Christmas, Peter.
Very nice.
It's just I wonder if they're going to acknowledge that more in Volume 3.
You acknowledge the whole sister thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'll definitely bring it up. Yeah.
It's like I don't know how I feel about characters other than She-Hulk and Deadpool breaking a fourth wall like that.
Well, I mean, look, it's the fact that it's an end tag. I'm sure is like the only. I don't think they're gonna like say now Rocket can break the fourth wall. At the very least, if Rocket breaks the fourth wall, they're probably just gonna save it for like post credit stuff. At the very least, the holiday thing is like the one time if they're ever gonna do it.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like a joke. I don't think
Yeah.
it's meant to. Yeah. It's like it's just not meant to be taken seriously.
Exactly. I don't think it's gonna be that big a game changer or anything. It's not like yeah.
It's not like it's doing not like he did it throughout the whole special. It's like something that changes like everything that he's ever done in the past. So
Yeah.
it's just a little joke. It's like now I need another special.
Yeah.
And that's it. We don't need to worry about any more than that.
Uh-huh.
That's basically my final thoughts. Like I said, it was like basically it's a nice holdover to Volume 3. It's like as you know, it's like I'm a huge fan of the Guardians. Like they're probably my favorite part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's a nice treat to see them once again, and even in this happy, heartwarming, and frankly quite hilarious crossing the line holiday special.
Yeah. So it's my final thoughts. I gotta tell you, man, this is like the perfect way to start off the holidays. This thing was to me was just perfect in every way. It was great. I think it was one of the highlights of Phase 4. It was just just one heck of a way to kind of the close things out for that, but also kind of like say a Merry Christmas from the MCU. It's real sweet, real nice.
It's a good way to end the Phase 4 on a high note.
Indeed. All right, so I'm gonna tease. We're gonna peek beneath the wrapping paper for what's up next here. So let me just let me take a little gift here. Let me shake it. Like, oh God, that sounds like a human head in there. And why is this box bleeding? Oh my God, is that shrapnel? Oh Jacob, what happened to this gift? Oh my God.
Like I don't know, it's not from me.
God, let me tear a little like peek here. Oh wow. Whoa,
Like,
Jacob,
who does it say it's from?
it says it's from the harbor, not just the harbor. It's from David Harbour. It's Violent Night.
Really? We're doing Silent Night.
No, not Silent Night, my friend.
Violent
Night.
We're doing you heard it right here, folks. We're doing Violent Night.
Yes.
So.
All right, folks. Well, I'm sorry. Let me thank the folks for tuning in here. Koski Productions.
Yep,
and briefly Sonia Pantoja.
Yep. So thank you all for tuning in, and for those of you that will be joining us in the future, thank you for watching.
All right, folks. I'm the dash away all. But as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time
for even more seasonal shenanigans.
La 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 la.
We're gonna need another